All right, for cellular respiration. So let's just have a quick look at the navigation part. You guys don't have this open, but essentially, our first three activities, we were looking at cardiology and the circulatory system. When we got into activities 4 to 6, we were looking at sort of the respiratory system. And then 7 to 9, we were kind of talking about the digestive system. So, what activity 10 does is it's kind of looking at all the systems together, um, and the overall of how they function within cellular respiration, I guess. So, what I've done here is I've just added some photos of the respiratory system and then your alveoli, your circulatory system, and your digestive system. So I think these have some pretty good information. Down below, you've got some information on cellular respiration that are just images that are copy and pasted here. And then what I've done, because I don't like the content area for activity 10, I've pulled what I did like and I put it here. So some of this is from the content area of the course, and some of this is from the images above, plus information that I've just added myself. So let's have a look. So we've talked about all the different systems. So in terms of circulation, respiration, and digestion. But what's the whole point? So the whole point of this is so that we can have energy. So the cells, what they need to do is actually figure out a way to create energy. So, what the organ systems help us to do is either to deliver the glucose or the oxygen that's needed. So, you can see here in cellular respiration, the glucose or the oxygen that's needed to give us carbon dioxide, water, and our energy. And we'll also talk about anaerobic respiration. So basically, that's a respiration where we don't have oxygen. And there's some good information about it here, like when you're working out and building up lactic acid, that type of thing. So your body will actually take the glucose and break it down into energy and lactic acid. However, the amount of energy that you get is way less than what you would get doing it aerobically with oxygen. So what else do we have that was pulled from the content area? So the systems also help remove the waste products. So you think about that when you breathe in, you're using your oxygen, but as you eventually breathe out, you're going to be removing the carbon dioxide from your body. So part of those systems is to get rid of waste. Part of those systems are to get the ingredients that we need to create energy. So, what happens? All these systems have to rely on each other to keep respiration going. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in these two activities. But what else? So, there's lots of reactions that are taking place. It's not necessary to know every step. That's what I don't like about the videos in the content area. They give you way too many of the steps that you don't actually, they're important to know, but not quite at this point. So, why is it important to a living cell? Well, we need all these things in order for us to keep moving, to create the energy that we need to be able to do the daily things that we do. So, when a body's, this is where we start talking about anaerobic respiration. So, what happens in anaerobic respiration is the glucose gets broken down. However, you don't have oxygen and the amount of energy that's created is less. So if you need to make these images bigger, you should be able to just drag on them. It'll stretch it out for you. My computer, of course, super slow. Yeah, so it'll stretch it out for you, and then if you just reverse it, you can take it back. So I wanted all these pictures in there because they have good information, but you might need to make them a little bit bigger. Otherwise, my document would have been huge. Okay, so those are basically the two formulas for cellular respiration. So let's look at some of the dot points that are pulled from this graphic up above. So cellular respiration is not breathing in and out. So a lot of times people will think about the respiratory system and think that cellular respiration is sort of one and the same with that, but it's not. So respiration is going on in every cell in your body. It is taking the glucose and converting it to energy. It also takes place in plants. And basically, you're taking the glucose and you're converting it to energy. Okay, so what else? ATP is what's produced. And if you watch some of those videos in the content area, it's going to talk about that specifically. So ATP is the main source of energy for cellular processes. So then I've broken down the two processes a little more. So there's aerobic, where you have plenty of oxygen. So basically, you have your glucose molecule plus your oxygen, and then you end up with carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. Where does this take place? It takes place in the mitochondria. That's why it'll talk about in the cells, mitochondria being the powerhouse sort of the cell. So that's where you're getting the ATP produced. And you can see if you compare the ATP that's produced, so the energy that's produced in cellular respiration, aerobic respiration, it's a lot more than what's produced in the anaerobic respiration, which is why, like, obviously your body would prefer to do it this way because it's just more efficient. So that's basically going to give you the information to get you started on the assignment below. So what is the purpose of cellular respiration? You should be able to get that from the content above. What are the overall reactants? So remember, reactants are what's on the left side of the equation, and products are what's produced in cellular respiration. So you should be able to go up here and have a look at that. And then what makes ATP so special? So why is ATP important? The video does give a bit of information there. You could also do a quick Google search on that one, and I've provided some information about ATP above. And then why are the mitochondria so important? So why are they important in your cells? What are they doing for you overall in terms of cellular respiration? So I think based on that, you guys should be able to handle finishing this. The rubric is copied below. It's also available via the Dropbox, so you'll find it there as well.